Hello again. As you know, I am Eli the Computer Guy over here for Everyman IT, and today's class is Google AdSense for website monetization. So maybe you have a little website, maybe you have a little web publishing venture, and you would like to start trying to make money off of it. Well, the easiest possible way to make money with your little website is through Google AdSense. With Google AdSense, it's very easy to set up an account. It's very easy to implement it into your website, and well, you know, the whole process is pretty easy. So this class, I'm going to talk about some of the basic concepts with using Google AdSense, and then we're going to have a demonstration on how to set it up. It's pretty short and sweet. Like I say, almost everything with Google is usually very easy and very quick, and Google AdSense is the same. So this is Google AdSense for website monetization. Give me a second and we'll dive into this class. Okay, so let's talk about how Google AdSense works. Again, this is very simple because most of it is automatic, really. So what's going to happen is you're going to create a Google AdSense account. Then you are going to go into the Google AdSense dashboard. In order to get Google AdSense ads, those little text ads onto your website, you go in and basically you just create an ad. You tell Google some information. You tell it like what size block you want to put the ads in, etc. And then it gives you code. So it just gives you code and you paste that code onto your website. Now what happens from there is everything is automatic. When your website loads, Google's little robots or scripts read that web page, and then Google determines which ads are best to put on that page. So if you're used to using affiliate networks, you can go to an affiliate network and you can say, I want to put car banner ads on my site, and you find the car banner ads and you plaster them on your site. Google doesn't work that way. With Google, you just put the code there, and then Google decides what advertisements will go in that spot. Basically, they want to fit the advertisements best to the material there. So it really does do you good at the end of the day. Then how you get paid is you get cost per click. So whenever somebody clicks one of those ads, you make money. Well, just like Google AdWords, Google AdSense is a bidding system. So depending on what the bid is, that is how much money you make. You can't say, I want to make $1 per click. Basically, Google will give you whatever percentage from what it makes. So sometimes you'll make 10 cents per click. Sometimes you'll make $1.25 per click. It's all just kind of in the Google mush, this all happens. So you don't get the decision. The big thing that you have to understand with using Google AdSense is you don't get to decide what ads are showing on your site. They do allow you to do a blacklist. So if you see ads that you don't want on your site, you can say that you don't want ads from a particular website on your site, but you can't say what ads you do want on. So see how that works. So basically Google will automatically put those ads there. And then how you're getting paid is, like I say, you will get paid. So it's CPC, cost per click, and it's always on a bidding system. You know, sometimes you get paid 10 cents, sometimes you get paid $1.25. It's all between whatever the bids are. Now the main thing with the cost per click is you will get paid upon the quality of your material. So the better your site is, the more visitors you have to your site, the better the reputation of your site, the higher your cost per click will be. Like with Everyman IT, while we've had Google AdSense on our site, we've been making $1 or more per click. When I created a website called cutecorgi.com a while ago, you know, corgis are these little cute dogs. I have corgis. Anyways, it wasn't a very good site. I put AdSense on there and I was making 10 cents per click. Why? Because people care about computers, people care about technology, and people care about everymanit.com. So it's a valuable website for Google AdSense to be on. So therefore, I make more money on everymanit.com than I did on just a cheesy little website about cute dogs. So that's something important to understand. The other important thing to understand with ads is when you paste the code onto your website, you paste the code into ad blocks. So you can have a square ad block or a rectangular ad block, whatever. Something very important to understand is you can only put 3 ad blocks per page. So wherever you put those ad blocks at, You can only get 3. If you try to plaster 5 or 10, etc., basically those just don't get filled in. Google will only allow you to do 3. And then the final thing that gets people a little confused is when you're creating your ads, you will see that you can put your ads into channels. The main thing to understand with this, I got a little confused, some people get confused, is these channels are just something for you for your own record keeping. You don't get to say, again, I want a car channel and then it will show car ads. No, you just put in the channel, and then it's just an easy way for you to understand where the ads are being shown and how you're making money off the ads. But that's pretty simple with Google AdSense. Basically, you go in, you create the code, you paste the code on your site. Google does everything automatically, from putting the ads on your site to paying, whether you get 10 cents or whether you get $1.25. The main thing is the better quality of your site, the more money you're going to make. Everything, like I said, though, is cost per click. You only get to put 3 ad groups up there. That's very important. And then the final thing is, do not click on your own ads. Do not have your friends click on your ads, and don't have your family and the rest of that click on your ads. Google has a very, very good kind of like theft or the nefarious deterrence system. If it thinks you are trying to click on your own ads, it will penalize you, and it will penalize you badly. Basically what happens is it sees the clicks that it thinks are bad. It thinks that you're clicking on your own ads, and then it kind of takes away a few more clicks too. So if you click on your own ads, it's all just bad all the way around. So now that we've talked about that, let's go over to the computer. I'll show you how to set up Google AdSense. It's really pretty simple. So to show you how AdSense works, the first thing we're going to do is right now, like I say, October 7th, 2010, we still have AdSense on Everyman IT. I'm actually about to delete it since we're going to a paid membership site, but right now, right this second, we have AdSense on Everyman IT. And you can see that right here. So we have this block right above our videos. It says ads by Google, social media marketing, micro solutions, learn to pay per click. And then if you scroll all the way down, you'll see we have another block down here. Now remember, as I said, you can put up to 3 of these ad blocks per page. If you try to put any more ad blocks, you can put the blocks there, but Google will only fill in 3 of them. So you might as well only paste in 3. So right here, these are horizontal ad blocks. And as you can see, Google looks at what my website is talking about and then adds in the advertising that it thinks will work. So affiliate marketing, pay-per-click advertising, landing page templates, because look at what this class is. This particular class is monetize your website. Let's say if we go over to introduction to blogging, you'll see top 10 content management systems. Start your own blog. Baltimore coupons, but it's there. But what I want to show you here is that depending upon what your website is, that's how Google decides to fill in these blocks. So as I say, you do not get any option on that. So this is the ad blocks, and this is how they get filled in. Now, if we go over to the AdSense dashboard, so this is the Google AdSense dashboard. When you log in, you will get your nice little, you'll go straight to your earnings report. So this tells you how much money you're making. There's a little view here, so you can say, what are you making today, yesterday, last 7 days, last month, and all time. I've clicked on all time so I can show you some of the experiments I've done. As you can see, these are the channels. So like I said in the overview portion, all the channels allow you to do is it allows you to categorize how you're making money. So I can see this computer. This computer stood for Eli the Computer Guy when it was a blog. So when it was only a blog, you can see how many page impressions, how many clicks happened. It says click-through rate. So every time an ad showed up, how often was it clicked through. This is nice. It says page estimated CPM. So this is the estimated how much you're going to make per 1,000 impressions, and then total earnings. So if you look at Eli the Computer Guy, and this is what I'm trying to show you with, the money you can make or the money you may not make. So Eli the Computer Guy here had 57,000 impressions and made a sum total of $76. It's a little bit of money, but you're not going to retire off this. Then if you go down, you can see Everyman IT. We've had the AdSense up for a few weeks, 4,000 impressions, 28 clicks. Now here, look at this. So Eli the Computer Guy was just a blog, and the estimated cost per 1,000 impressions, or what I made per 1,000 impressions, was $1.59. Everyman IT is a better blog. It has better content. Obviously, you're watching it. It's making $5.17 per 1,000 impressions. So this is where I'm telling you the quality of your site really does matter. So don't just plaster AdSense onto a garbage site. If you do that, you're not going to make any money. And then over here it says total earnings, and then go down. I had a little travel website. But this, on that whole estimated CPM, this is the channel for cutecorgi.com. Didn't get many page impressions, got a couple of clicks. But look at this. The estimated CPM was 45 cents per 1,000 impressions versus for Everyman IT, $5.17 for every 1,000 impressions. So this is where, like I say, in the web world, quality does matter. This is especially so in AdSense. AdSense will pay you better, a lot better, 10 or 20 times better for good content than it will for cute corgis. But so that I've shown you this, this is basically just the report mechanism. Now, if you want to set up an ad, like I say, this is very, very simple. All you do is you go up to this tab up here, AdSense Setup, and then it gives you options for what kind of ads you want to create. So AdSense for content, this is what we're going to create today. There's AdSense for search, AdSense for feeds, AdSense for domains. You can play with all of this. I mean, it's basically the same old stuff, just wrapped in a different wrapper. So what we'll do is we'll click on AdSense for content. Now it's going to ask you what kind of ad unit do you want. So the default is text and image ads. So Google now does banner ads. So do you want images shown on your site, or do you want text? As I talked about in the class for Introduction to Website Monetization, think about the design of your website and how much advertising on your website is going to mess up that design. With Google, I like simply putting only text ads. The reason being is it doesn't muck up the design of the site as much as those banner ads do, because those banner ads come up, they could be flashing, they could be colorful. Again, this is Google, so you have no idea what banner ad will show up. With an affiliate network, you can specifically decide what specific banner ad you want on your site. With Google, it just pops up whatever banner ad is in the queue. So if that messes with your site, people might not want to come back, etc. So I'll just do the text ads only here, and then you click continue. Then from here, it's very simple. So it's asking you right here, what is the format? So what size space are you trying to shove this ad unit in? A 300 by 250 rectangle, horizontals, letterboard. So that's what I showed you on Everyman IT. So this would be a letterboard right here. The different sizes, vertical, squares, etc. So whatever size space you have on your website, you can shove something in. Even something as small as a 125 by 125 button, which is really small. Once you decide what you wanna do, we'll go with letterboard. Then you can actually choose the colors. So you see over here with palettes, I have this at ETC default. So I created a color scheme for the AdSense advertisements so they look better in the site. You can pick, whatever the default pattern is. And when you do that, you can see over here, this is a sample. So this is what the Google default banner advertisement will look like. If you go down, if you do graphite, let's say, now you see that the sample has a gray background. So this is where you can decide, what do you want the border color to be? What do you want the title color to be? The background color. And again, as I'll keep hammering into you guys, don't just throw advertisements on your site. Think about, the overall design. Is this going to look well? Is this gonna fit into your site, or is it gonna become an eyesore? Then once you've decided on your color scheme, you can go down here to this preview this AdSense unit and see what it'll look like. So this is what this particular AdSense unit will look like, blue titles and then the stuff going across. If you like that, if you think that looks good, you can go down, family font, corner style. Do you want square corners, round corners? Down here is another thing that you need to think about. So there is ad inventory. A lot of people don't realize it, but Google can only present you with ads if somebody's actually paying Google or has asked Google to show ads. So if Google doesn't have any ads to show when your website pops up, what do you want Google to fill that ad space with? Do you want it to show public service ads? So if Google has no ads to show on your site, and yes, this does happen, this isn't like a wacky thing, sometimes Google just doesn't have ads to show. So do you want them to show a public service ad, show non-Google ads from another URL, or fill the space with solid color? I would go with just the show public service ads. Makes life easier. Again, if you have a quality site, this should not happen very often. If you have a not so quality site, it will happen more often. Like I say, cutecorgi.com got a lot of public service ads. Then all you do is you hit continue. And now you have channels. So this is, how you'll figure out where you're making your money. So you could put in a channel for a website. So let's say you're running multiple blogs. Let's say you have 10 blogs. You would create a channel for each one of your blogs, or however you want to divide it. So we could just do a test here. And then all you do is so we do add new channel, and then we'd say test. Then we hit OK. There we go. So now if we want to add the channel to this ad, you would just hit the add or remove. So we could remove or we could add. And so if you add this, like I say, now this will track based on this particular channel. Then you can hit continue. Then it says, what do you want the name of this to be? This is whatever you want. This is for your own good. So test. And now submit and get code. Now this is the code. What you're going to do is you're going to select all of this. You're going to right click. Or you're going to, there we go. And then we're going to copy. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go over to your website or to your source files for your website and paste this code straight onto a standard HTML page. You paste that onto the HTML page, you wait a little bit of time, and then your ads will start showing up. The one thing to remember with this is Google does have to check out your site and do some basic stuff. So it'll take anywhere between 10 minutes to half an hour before ads start showing up on your site. So if you paste this code onto your site, don't expect ads to start popping up immediately. And if they don't pop up immediately, don't think you messed something up. Literally, all you do is you copy and paste this onto plain, like I say, the HTML code. Why I'm saying onto the plain HTML source files is if you're using something like WordPress, remember WordPress strips out coding. So if you try to put this into like a WordPress blog post, WordPress and some of these content management systems strip out the scripting that makes this function. So you don't want this in the blog post, you want this in the source HTML files. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, we've got lots of other classes so you can figure it out. But basically that is all you do. So you go in, you figure out the palettes, what size you want, etc. And then all you do is copy and paste this code. You don't have to copy any code into the headers or any of that. You just copy this code right here onto your source HTML files and you'll be good to go. And then you will have ads just like we have here. So with that, let's go back out to the real world and have some final thoughts. So that's all there is to setting up Google AdSense. Like I say, it's really easy. So you just set up the Google AdSense account. You go in, you create the type of ad that you want put on your site. You just plaster that code onto your site, and then you look at the reports. It's all very simple, very automatic. The couple of things that I will remind you to be careful of is remember you can only put 3 ad blocks up on your site. So if you try to put 5 blocks or 6 blocks or whatever, it just won't work. And don't click on your own ads. If you click on your own ads, it's just bad. Yes, Google will figure it out. It's just bad, bad, bad. bad. Now with this, you're looking at this and you're thinking, hey, this is a great way to make money. The one thing I will caution you on, talking about business here, is Google AdSense will probably not make you a whole lot of money. Now here, everymanit.com, we get about 5,000 visitors a week, and with Google AdSense being on our site, we've been making, I don't know, $13 a week, $12 a week, maybe. This isn't a lot of money. Maybe you can figure out how to make a lot of money, but it's a good little way to help a blog pay for itself. It's fun. Maybe you can make some money and go out to dinner. But Google AdSense is not going to bring in an insane amount of money. Maybe if you're making getting 1 million visitors a month, you can actually make a living off of it. But for most average people, it will bring you in a little bit of money. But realistically, that's it. But for as simple as it is, for as easy it is to use, it's not bad. So this was a Google AdSense for website monetization. As you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy over here for everymanit.com, and I look forward to seeing you at the next class.